Hello. I am jumping right into this demon here. I'm going to do some photo editing, which I haven't done on stream ever before. I also changed up my OBS and wrote. Um, oh, please. I don't think it's or music, but hopefully this is working and my audio is coming through. Oh, I got to do but yeah, so I'm Demon. Here's music. I don't know if it's working. If anybody is in chat and you can't hear me, let me know. I'm trying. Okay, so there's some sound. It's not working. Maybe voice mod is working. Looks like it's working. Am I not talking into the microphone? Testing. That's working. I can't hear me on stream. Oh, great. Testing. I think that's working. Hello. 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 Okay, so the problem is quiet. Maybe it's too quiet, or I'm just talking into the wrong side of the mic. That's the other problem. Is it this end? Yeah. Okay, I think I've got it. We'll see what shows up from the sound. Yeah, that sounds much better. So I thought this was the uh, con- condenser microphone that I needed to speak into this side rather than this way. So that was my bad. But welcome to my stream, and thank you for anybody who was hanging around to see this. I mute that tab and then see if I can add another thing. We're gonna go this open a new private window. Oh, that's not channel. That's not what I want to do. Channel. Open a new private window. Give myself experience of what it's like. As you can see, I've added, or if you can't tell, down at the bottom there is a screen that I use for editing. And yeah, it's good times. I'm going to use that for my Photoshop stuff, but the primary scene that we're going to use tonight or today is the Lightroom view and then Photoshop, and I'll switch back and forth. So this might change as I edit because I'll be switching back and forth through apps, and I'll most likely disable my camera because, I don't need to be in the image. The editing part is going to be the image. Uh, my images came from the Saturday version or the Saturday Phoenix Fan Fusion, I think it is, was the deal. And I'm going to turn down my music just a little bit because it's a little distracting. But the Phoenix Fan Fusion is used to be the Comic Con. I think I don't know the background as to why they're changed or they changed it, but Comic Cons are great and it's always fun to see. So the people portrayed here are the people that I've caught. I've got some of their Instagrams for 'em, or the Instagram handles for a few of them, but I don't necessarily have them all. So I probably won't be replaying this VOD of the edits, but I went through and found some or got some good images. Uh, the if you see like the transition of these three, you might see some changes where the person or the image switches from black and white to color. That's because I primarily shoot or I shoot with two modes. I have a raw, or I shoot with a raw, and then I write a black and white image um, to the SD card. So the way that Lightroom imports is it uh, pulls the images from with the metadata or whatever saved for black and white, and then switches over. She was fantastic. I wish I got more images of her or got a distance. And one of the things that I'm personally looking for my editing is a compassionate approach to uh, my edits. Oftentimes the it's a challenge to it's a challenge to really approach this in a uh, I'm a perfectionist, or I try to be a perfectionist, and that causes issues when it comes to trying to be like I'm learning. I'm learning Photoshop. Still learning Lightroom after using it for a bit, and so my images are a little bit blurry. Doesn't really matter. It's more fun. So this is Bunny Tifa. She was those eyes are fantastic. And one of the things I did as well, so I'm shooting with an 85 millimeter lens. It's probably too small to see up here. Actually, I'm blocking, so I'm gonna do that so you can see the disable my camera because I'm no longer the star of the show. So 85 millimeters is challenging on a conference floor um, because there are people everywhere. But the one thing that I really like about the 85 millimeter lens is you can see I can get her, or I can get the subject in really sharp focus, which makes it for a lot or a fun image. And then I can blend or blur with the bokeh in the background. My f-stop of choice for these shots is 1.6 because I wanted to get the super sharp um, and not kind of bummed. This guy had a great. I was following him or following them, and I did not realize who I was following until somebody asked him to turn around, and I didn't get a perfectly crisp show or focus. Funny story on these hell divers, which I'll have to edit up, is these two in the background. I wanted to photograph her, and that is a photographer or photographer who I took a class from, or have taken a number of classes from. So I missed my chance to see them, but they were in fact there. Um, that's fine. Again, that's one of the deal. So just fun images, really great to see the costumes. Oh, but back to the 85 millimeter, because 85 millimeter is such a, or it's 50 millimeter is what we naturally see. 85 millimeter is a little bit zoomed in, and I'm shooting a prime lens. I was looking for, I was getting to the point where I couldn't step back far enough to get all of the cosplayer, or the person. So I kind of shifted between a what's it called, a landscape versus a portrait for my images, and that led to an interesting like mix of being able to do this. There's a lot of so she was fantastic, um, blurry but still good. I don't know who that person is. Should blur them out, but the this was a really fun um, part to catch. Was these two? This is complete chance happening. Leia costume or Leia cosplayer and somebody else showing up, or an R2D2, and they enacted the scene, and she was so excited to see R2D2 do its or his exclamation and move around. It's a lot of fun to see. So just cool to catch images. Some I think this was the water spirit from that's Tara from Avatar and the Last Airbender. I don't know who she was, but she had a lot of work. A little blurry, but great outfit. Yuji from the uh, from Jujutsu Kaisen, which I need to watch more of. I forgot that I'm almost done with that. This dude from DC, she was fun. This guy was intense. They were very intense on the images. I unfortunately, so I was shooting over the top of another photographer still, and I wanted to make sure I got all of the feathers, but I did not get all of his setup, which was massive boots. So he'll be fun to edit. These two were fantastic. again, the horizontal or the landscape being able to get me uh, more of the people. I think she had a mask that she was wearing at her booth, but had been was wandering with her friend. Awesome detail on the. These two were hilarious. I wanted to get the Jurassic Park, but I missed the Jurassic Park here. Ah, there he goes. So these are Jurassic Park Jeep Autobots or Transformers that had me rolling. I should have got a cell phone picture instead of um, the, you know, he was hard. I did not realize how hard it was to get the, you know, I don't know the characters for a number of them, but the details were fantastic. Again, I needed to step one foot back and would have got more images or a better view of Jean. Her. Okay, so this one is not really as in focus as I want or as sharp, but her makeup was fantastic. Also a makeup artist, and then getting the this view was really cool to see just the detail that she was able to or capture. So I'll have fun editing her. Favorite person in the con, Amadeus Mozart, and these images are great. I needed to step back, but these two or this one is my favorite. Her smile is fantastic, so fun. Um, and so it was fun to run in and capture her. The detail for her was fantastic. Um, so be fun. So that's the even though I couldn't get far enough or I wasn't too far, it was nice with the 85 because I was able to blur out the background and really at least capture the majority of the detail of the subjects, um, which I enjoyed greatly for Ghost. If you're not familiar, I'll have to change the settings on this. I didn't really greatest angle. I did not change that. Okay, so between between Amadeus and Joker, these were my two favorite, I should say, and I actually don't know. They're both phenomenal. Um, she was fantastic as well. I kind of fucked that up and did not help her set stuff up. I've got to learn how to sync my actual image rotations and changes between. There we go. Between computers. I will make edits on this one and then switch over to my laptop and not necessarily get the same view as before or get the same edits or the image rotation. Chainsaw Man was amazing. The detail. She was cool. She some of these they did not speak, so I couldn't get them to move in ways that I wanted, and I started to struggle with the light at the very end than I did Attack on Titan. She got the motor combat, and I can't remember her name. This is the last image. She had such it's a Book of Life character, or she had such a hard time walking. She could only take a few steps at a time, or very very small steps. So walking through an area or walking through the con was a challenge. Okay, so let's see. These two were fun. These images are fun. Let's go and take a look at Demon Queen with this one. So run through some quick changes. I think I need to expose or get a little up the exposure. We'll go for highlights. See what the highlights do to play. I don't really see much change in here. Shadows. Up the shadows to get more view on her so you can see her still. Change the light. Let's go for present. Nope, that is not where we want to go. We will change that. Daylight. Daylight adds a little bit of color to her that I like. It's the detail that she's got up in there. And yeah, so let's see how my scenes play out and move over to a Photoshop scene, which should pop up on the other or down here. So I can use the pencil, which I need to get out. Let's see. I don't really have, yeah, I'm not sure. I did add some plugins that I will probably have to change up on the views. There we go. That's what I need to change up is my OBS hotkeys. Set up a loop deck thing. So let's switch over to Photoshop and kind of take a look at her here. So I can get a better view where another screen would be helpful. Actually. Yes, view over there. Oh, good. Oh, I am back on the camera. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. I am still learning this touchpad, so this is a learning of both Photoshop and touchpad. The idea is to go in and look at what we can change here. I do have a class that I want to go through to get an idea or like to find some stuff, but this is more of like she's fairly dark in the Photoshop image. Uh, and I want to get see if there's things that I can brighten up on her. Use like a dodge and burn, um, kind of bring out like part of her face here. Let's see, just kind of this. She doesn't like she did a. There's not. Um, there's did an amazing. Need to also change up my. There's a bug. Got these little beetles that are invading my screen. It's not fun. But her skin is super light. So let's full screen. Like she's got a lot of color. I shot all natural light. So I want to see if there's anything that I could really bring out on her. I think her eyes probably, and maybe figure out how to lighten up. See if there's anything I can do with her face, which is not a huge thing. Do a dodge and burn, and we will play around with this. The opacity. Yeah, I need to. This is where I need to get into the Photoshop stuff and see what I can pick up from this. So the burn is going to be the darken. The dodge is going to be where I want to play with this, and we'll switch over to the masking tool. I think I changed my tool size to super small. And I can go in and like the opacity is set to 100. So let's go and see what lightening up her eyes a little bit. Color is fantastic. Do anything? Yep, did a little bit. You can see that's where it's not all over. I think I'm just gonna stick with lightening her eyes. Probably lighten hair. Get very much into the aspects of being able to like bring out those lips. Also, like I want to lighten them up, but I also don't want to lose the great detail she just the color and the contrast there. See what else. I think I can lighten it a little bit. This is where I don't necessarily like that part. Let's go back to figuring out like maybe that's a burn thing. I do like having these parts, a little bit of here, nose some structure, I guess. Now I'm getting this. We got some highlights to her hair. Going and finding like the right blend. So I don't want to highlight all of her hair, I guess. It's just a matter of finding like the ones that pop the most to catch the light just right. So like down here was probably not a great idea. Up here is probably kind of nice because it nicely accentuates her face. But it's a little spotty too, so that's more me, less her. looks like. Hit screen. Just yeah. So okay, I guess I could go back and let's delete this layer. Delete. Oh yes. Delete dodge. We'll delete burn, and we're gonna run through. So again, this is me learning, going in and finding like the the areas that I want to lighten up and seeing what it is part of the lesson. So deleting burn is good. I'll run this again, and I gotta learn about the opacity. That's changing hardness. I'll do up to 10. Do a 35. The other part is I get too much into this, I can do um, the I can change the hardness of the brush. So by being able to go in and I want to catch this. uh, Get her eyes to pop. Let's take a look at that. Here, so here, da, there. Okay, so that brings out her eyes pretty well. Let's see about her hair. Now, the mistake or no, the learning before was like there's hair that could pop nicely. Then there's this. So let's see what I need to change from a brush. Go for a larger brush. And I kind of want to flatten this because her eyes are fantastic and then run another hill. So let's flatten because I really like her eyes. This, and I don't want to mess with the. Let me run. A little bit more there. Okay, let's flatten these layers. Layer, image, yes. And then we're gonna do another dodge and burn. Drop dodge. Play with the hair. So I flatten the image. Her eyes are captured. Let's see, getting dark in here because Lightroom is. Go. But if anybody's, let's see who's here. Photoshop size. Okay, so this is going to be one where see how her hair where's necessary, where does her hair pop the most? there's hair that's dark, like in this area, and then there's hair that's lighter. It'd be interesting. Let's see what lighting most of her hair is, staying away from the obvious shadow areas, but seeing if I can just lighten up these parts. Uh, It doesn't have to be much, it's just a matter of being able to lighten certain strands. Trying to go with the flow of the hair. Smooth strokes. One of the challenges of being a perfectionist, essentially angsting over all of these little details that nobody ever sees except for me or people who are looking obviously at the photos to a degree that most people don't, which I myself forget. There's as I hit the microphone. That's where I was gonna. That's why I got the or started to use. It's actually a laptop mount that I bought that allows me to swivel. Let's see. Follow these down. I might lighten up her skin just a little bit after. But the I don't think this part is as important. Consistency, or just a nice place to highlight. doesn't need to be all lit up. That's the one part that's cool about the brain is you add just a little bit of a change to it. Let's take a look at this. Lost my mouse. Let's go to fill screen. Hit screen. So her hair is pretty popping. Yes. Let's go and see. Let's add some. Yeah, first, I want to. Let's drop the opacity on here to like 60%. So she doesn't look like she is. Um, it's not too enhanced, but it's like nice enough, I think. Uh, and then I'm gonna flatten this image. Image, yes. Layers, and then we'll do another dodge and burn, so I can pull out. That is not what I wanted to do. Damn it! Dodge. What I wanted to do was zoom in, and I said the one thing with this panel that I like, but I haven't figured out is I can't quite use the finger zoom in and out stuff, which is really unfortunate or frustrating. It makes it so that um, it's hard to manipulate the image using this hand or the hand or with my fingers, which I am not glove that I should be wearing for rubbing or getting my goddamn gross ass fingerprints all over the screen. So it makes it challenging to go in and uh, rotate, manipulate the image as I want to. I think. And, no, I can't. So I need like hand mode to move her around. There's some extra hair there. I want to go in and like zoom into here, grab the hand, and this is a matter of like familiarity. So I think what I want to do is like trying to figure out what are. Yeah, I think lightening her skin up just by a little bit will be fun. Or will be good because her eyes are popping already, but I don't want to like really blow out her skin. Not nearly as this point. So we'll I'll forget this part. Well, I think her face and then go for the gold. Yeah, I'll highlight the gold or give the gold a little bit of a touch after. Let's drop the burn green. Use the mouse again. Dodge. Let's change up these. I'm gonna drop the hardness to hardness 2%. 2%. Um, let's do large. What kind of brushes do we have? Soft brown, hard brown. Do a soft brown pressure. Let's try that. The nice thing is I can just remove it and go. is in the way. Learning how to be consistent with the brush pressure will be fun. I'm probably gonna scrap this later. They've definitely overkill on the splotchy. The splotchy is bad. It's not good. I will. Let's see. Fill screen. Fit screen. Yeah, that is not. That is not good at all. Okay. Passion. Remember. I reset this. Clear. What? That's not bad with the opacity set to very low. Fill fit screen. So it does pop nicely. Okay. Flatten the image and yeah, as you can see, my experience largely goes around, or is largely best. What's going on? I don't know if this is Photoshop that I'm in. Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. So I do have a Photoshop palette that is showing up somewhere around here. No, go away. You can see it's down here, but it's not, or I don't know where that is coming from. I guess that's a plugin. Okay, let's see. What else can we do with her? I think that's a great, like, if I increase the exposure and then crop, I think I've got a decent image here. So let's save. Save. And then switch over to the Lightroom scene. And this is where for the camera. So this is the original. She's a little bit brighter. I can change up the, see if highlights, I can drop the highlights down to bring her out. Expose it for a little bit. this is where I hadn't used dehaze before or clarity. Clarity is interesting bunch. Lens blur. Ah, stop. Don't do that. Lens correction, I think, doesn't necessarily. Oh yeah, that's not clarity. So that's a solid image. I think. Let's go. If I do say so myself, as the person editing said image. See what's going on. Oh, I did not set up my fire. I did not get Firebot. Big thing, but it does show the scheduled ad breaks, so that's kind of helpful. Yes, yeah, I guess the private browsing part does not help. Or am I muted here? No, I'm fully on here. Whatever. Okay. Well, that is something I'll have to mess with another time. Okay, so this image, let's crop her and see. Get some Demon Queen stuff going. I don't know. What's a good image size? Keep her hat in there because it's fantastic. And yeah, that is a solid image. I need to do a watermark. And I can export. Let's do loop deck exports. Interesting. Next. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, next image. What should we do next? I do like the changes, so we can look at this one. Oh no. So this is the natural or the original, and this is the new one. So I'm gonna do Dave's or use Dave still and go for a 5 for this one, and we'll just use this is an edited version of it. Okay. Oh, I did not go and pop her, so not necessarily do. There we go. Amazing costume. Okay, let's edit this one. I really want to change so the highlights do make difference. Any shadows we can drop. Shadows down. Benefit on darkening the image at least with the blacks. Oh, am I? Okay, take a look. I think I want to lighten her eyes a little bit. She's moving, so that makes it challenging. But being able to grab the detail in her face. And then we'll switch over to another. Um, yeah, probably 13 after this. But let's go. And then it might be fun to edit. I want to do like a black and white image, and then am I still in Photoshop mode? No, I'm definitely in Lightroom mode. Okay, let's go Photoshop with this one. Close this. Edit. Change the scene and move OBS so it's not way Photoshop scene. Let's go hit screen. So the other challenge I have is I'm editing on an OLED and then two non-OLEDs, and so I want to see what the image looks like on the OLED, so it's nice and bright. But I also don't really have a like it'll be interesting to see what this looks like from a like seeing the difference between the OLED, like the color on OBS is it's bright on the OLED. It is not the same. It looks pretty similar, at least on the camera, but it's a darker screen. I think I turned down the brightness on the other display that I have. And then the reason why I did this is because this panel, so there's two non HDR and one HDR, and I wanted to. I don't know if I should worry about editing in HDR, um, but I like the idea of using HDR. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with her right now. There's not, other than like lightening her eyes, probably just slightly to get the there, and maybe bring out these like angel tear things. But this is again a level of detail that is probably only um, going to be visible to me and the pixels. Okay, so my pixel or the brushes too far. Let's drop this down to 30. So that'll be good. And then let's go 25. Pen. I've got dodge select. That out. Let's see. Let's zoom out. I might lighten up just briefly the edges on the side, and then, but first, before we do that, should probably screen, full screen. Burn again. Zoom in. Burn. I think I might lighten up just or this part just barely. Which means I'll lighten it up and then I'll adjust the opacity of it, but we'll see. Because it is shadowed. Shadows. The detail is amazing. Differences. So it does bring it out a little bit. And I think I might bring out like portions of her face, but let's. Is there. How we look? Trying to compare between the two. So her eyes are popping a little bit. There's this. This is another one of my favorite songs. I might stand up for a second and water break. See. So, so kind of want to flatten the image, just so that I don't accidentally like obliterate everything. Seems to be a good. Um, I should probably not have done that in the event that I do this in just. Oh, I didn't change the opacity up. That's fine. Now let's go for. I'm gonna try a larger brush and see if I can like go for less splotchy. But a lighter touch. So let's see. This is where the experimentation is kind of like. So this part of her face is really blonde or bright. Right chin. I don't really want to do much. Let's see what that did. Okay, so it did a decent job. I do like the Fill screen. That brings her face out. Her hands are in motion, unfortunately, so I did not get that. Can go in and yeah, I don't know. Really bring out the trying to flatten her skin or flatten this part. Do like the or the slight pop there, and then run, dodge, and burn again. The opacity is good. So what I'm gonna do is clear the burn portion of it and go for um see if I can get those her wings to pop. Messages popping up. Okay, so let's see the. I like the larger brush, so that was a cool learning. Or that was good. But let's see if we can get these wings. Let's see what the wings do. I might go in and do burn for the first time and use the burn to kind of give it a little bit more definition. That sounds like a fun ad or fun adventure. Not that the wings need much to like super pop. But let's see what that how that makes a difference. Okay. It actually kind of does. Let's try burn. So with burn, I've never done. Well, I don't. Well, not really done. Interesting to see what the. Where else can I pull? Maybe I'll bring out her. Like the gold right here would probably be good to pop. Is it still in Dodge K? she her popping is a great idea. Again, just trying to figure out the flow of how to work with the light because I'm adding light to the image, but not make it splotchy or too bright. Let's see what the zoom on this looks. Let's screen, screen. Yeah, so she nicely pops. Do you like the? I think that's a good enough edit for now. Let's bring it back into photo or into Lightroom. I'm gonna bring it back into Lightroom and then do some changes on Lightroom or in Lightroom. This is actually let me flatten the image because I wasn't like maybe I'll change the opacity here to 70. Oop, that's not the opacity. Okay, I like changes for her. Uh, These would be probably good to pop as well. But I think for the most part, she's set. The image can be rotated and save. Let's pop over here. Yeah. And yeah. Let me change my. Let's go over to the Lightroom scene so you can see the differences here. So this is the original, which is I like the image. I was able to pull her out. Then you can see differences, get some nice highlights in her eye or on her face. And let's see. Let's change up. Let's crop this a little bit. Actually, let's bump the rating to 5 so I know I'm working on my edit right. Yeah, hands are a little bit more. I might edit this one too. Almost the same image, but her hands are a little bit more. But that's we'll go back here. This is where I'm working. Change the aspect ratio. Let's see what 2:3, which is what I'm shooting apparently. Close that up or drop it in. Let's see what the dehaze does. That highlights. her out nicely. Brighter shadows. Yeah, shadows can be good. Contrast. Hey, let's bump the exposure up just a little bit. See what clarity does. Clarity is fun. You like this one. Full resolution. I have to make sure that I do not have. I don't know where it exported, so that is a challenge. Okay, I can't look at my exports folder on Twitch. It is not safe for Twitch, which is okay. So I think I don't know, feeling like the contrast got bumped up a little bit, but that's fine. There's she's mostly there. Brought out the colors. Maybe I'll edit this in silver effects. This will be a let me open up some OBS Magic and grab the Lightroom is completely gone. Where did Lightroom go? Window is there we go. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna make a new scene and do this is one of those noob things that I should probably have done in studio mode. So give me a moment as I try not to break everything. Pull up the stream over here and grab some pretty much everything. This way, copy, paste references. That's good. Window capture. That's what I want. Nick. That's not what I want. There we go. Apologies for that. So Nick is one of my favorite plugins, and let's go to transition. So studio mode. There we are. So Nick is pretty cool. It is a plugin for photographers. So it's like the ultimate like plugin for photographers, I guess. It's one of those things. It's hard to find better black and white and HDR effects in here. I think one of the things that found from or that I liked it is Photoshop is a complete beast for so many options, so many editing things, capabilities, graphic design, art, whatever. Um, Nick plugins are for photographers by photographers. What? Didn't change. Okay. Yeah, non-destructive edit. Why the fuck would you not have non-destructive edits over here? Oh, yes. Show again. Okay. So you can go through and like grab. She would be. This would be an interesting one. As you can see, I don't know how well it shows up over here because um, Twitch is or OBS is super small. Yeah, you can see it pretty well. But you can see where I can change things over here. So let's increase the brightness a little bit. See if we can get her to pop. Highlights are all right. Midtones, drop them down a little bit. Shadows. And what I like to do with the Nick. So Nick, the photo plugins were um, made. They got bought by Google, and then I think DxO or D picked them up. I think they got a rework or something, but great plugins for editing photos for photographers. If I knew anything about generative fill, I might go in and like do stuff here, but I'm not really worried about the generative feel aspects. Auto, I want you in 1080p. There we go. Um, so being able to grab like this and the loop up here is super cool too because you can see like where different brightness is. So I got some ultra bright, bright in the histogram. He's crooked, it feels like, but that's fine. She's got a great. And see where I picked up like parts of her face by the different or the hash marks or the stuff that shows up here. So what I do is I'll pick a preset that I like, and then I will go in and edit with that preset and adjust like these fine adjustments. I like this one because it really gets her to pop, and then with the add of the dodge and so forth on here, I was able to bring out this well. Um, when I learn more about Photoshop, I'll yoink her out or pull her out of the frame and put or do something like blur the background or make it so that these kind of disappear. But at this point, like she pops so fair or so well. So let's apply and then go back to Lightroom because I am no longer in there. So let's see what we got. So this is the edit of the edit. This is what I edited from. See how it keeps that nice bright stuff, and this is the original that I cropped her down. So let's do another 5 to do that, and I think that is almost an hour and 20 minutes of edits. I don't know if anybody has visited or nobody's been in the chat, so I might do one more image. See if we could do this one. Yeah, so this is a phenomenal shot. And I again with the 1.6 or f 1.6, I got her, but I had to be because I was so damn close. I missed or I didn't get the wings, but that's okay. They add a nice background. So let's edit this one up, and I can go in and so let's see what highlights changing highlights on her does. Like for this one, let's go. That was an ass shot. Let's see what the fluorescent lights do. They change up her color a little bit. Let's see what the lens corrections. Let's edit. There we go. So I like the lens corrections. Exposure is good. Highlights. Can't really tell like a neg or it's can't really tell much other than it really brings her out. The shadows might be yeah. So way too many shadows. The shadows kind of give us some contrast, I guess. And then we can switch over to this. So just thoughts kind of bring out her face and those eyes again really well. Grab some detail here around her hand. So yeah, these pearls. Uh, Did not realize she had the detail in these areas. Kind of yeah, keep her yeah in your face. Probably highlight a little bit around here. Her hair does not really need to be much. And maybe add a little bit of highlights to the wings. Um, but again, so much fun. Such a cool cool view. Um, yep. Let's see, what was I going to do? Edit in Photoshop. Switch over to yes. Bring this over here. Photoshop fill. Make sure. Yep. We're looking at Photoshop. Zoom in. Again, it's not nearly as bright as it is on the OLED, which is not a problem. I'm going to use OBS in such a way that I can see both the Photoshop image and the the panel or the Lightroom. Let's run a dodge and burn layer. This time, I think I'm gonna go for the short or the smaller. Before, yeah, that's good. 36. I'm gonna do the 36 will be small, so I can grab or jump into her like look at her eyes. Let's zoom in a little bit more so I can get really in there. Again, this is a level of detail that you probably or that most people won't look. Uh, Blow up to see the pixels, and that's good. You do, yeah. Okay. So pressure is out her eyes. Details right there. Cloudy eye is an interesting one, given that the doesn't really um, lips. Let's jump out. Got that dodge. Let's see what the changes are. So it does kind of add. I think I went a little overboard over here, but I think the idea will be let's change the opacity up, drop the opacity down a little bit. See what that looks like. Fit the screen so you can see a little bit of it. But I'm gonna flatten this and then grab layer, flatten, and then I'm gonna bring out her skin in the next one. But I'm gonna do the larger brush for this one. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Okay, so let's go for. Uh, don't really like how this is showing. of the inconsistency in the brightness. But see how it looks. Yeah. Let's drop opacity. Turn the opacity down. Brings out. Yeah, that's a nice. Okay. So that's better. That's a good look on her skin. Or then let's jump into her hands. Face is a little bit easier after I went over some passes. The highlights still are fine. I'm going to attribute those to called shadows that nobody will ever see except for me. Okay, pick the dodge tool. So let's see now these. Assuming the pressure sensitivity of the thing will bring out. Let's shake. Let's take a look. Okay, so it did. It's not. Oh, that's why. Let's flatten that image. Actually, let's flatten this, and then I'm going to change the dodge and drop burn. Okay, and I like the 60 exposure is good. Opacity is good. Let's drop this down to 50. Yeah, looks good. So I can go in and do the brighter, really bring out these pearl. Really right click. It's not what I wanted. see what that did. Yeah. Nice add. Anything that I really want to change up here? That screen. Yeah, so it brings out her eye. Okay. I might do some changes down here just to bring out this gold, which was a nice. Oh, that's the light here. I'm not too worried about the fabric she used, just because it seems the highlighting won't be a problem. I don't think the highlighting will be a problem right there. I am on the Photoshop kit. Let's see what that looks like. I gotta change my. Why am I not in Photoshop? Yeah, I've got to fix my Lightroom or my loop deck so that it does the things that I want. Okay, so that brought these out. I'll go in here, bring these, but what I want to do is change dodge tool. Let's drop this down to like a, yeah, there we go. Just kind of accentuate the fun details of these, of the jewelry. I think she's got uh, another one over here. Gonna add. And we can jump back to zoom. Split screen. Yeah, so it just adds a nice little touch. I think I might flatten this and then go for kind of stick out, but that's just an accentuation. Actually, I don't think I got these as much. That's, again, wrong tool. The pressure sensitivity will help with the brushing a little bit of her. This stuff. I think there's really much necessary really on that side, but yeah. Let's go back to a zoom. got some more of those. Yeah, pop this stuff out in a second. First, I want to flatten. Go from there, though. I didn't mess with opacity, but really, I think it's fine with the opacity as it was. Dodge it again. Hide that layer. And what I want to do is bump this up quite a bit. Let's go to idea is to try to follow enough or to get the pixel size that I can run with the run the dodge tool like over these areas. This is again for science. So just to accentuate the areas that are already really bright, make them pop a little bit more. Light painting with this. It's so bright. Just highlight some there. Let's see what that looks like. Continue through. Let's see where I stopped. Probably an element of this where I don't have to do everything. The brain will fill in those gaps. Uh, Scroll over here. There's not much of the feathers. The wings over here. Love too. I'm sad that she doesn't have, or that they don't have an Instagram. They, this is probably, yeah. There's three, so that's I said there was two earlier, but Amadeus, the and then Lucky Zombie or Joker. Maybe I should switch over to editing her photo. Yeah, so Amadeus, Lucky Zombie, and this are my absolute favorite shots. Okay, zoom out. Screen. Let's see what that dodge did. Yeah, opens up a little bit. Good mix there. I should probably lighten her skin up. Let's flatten layer an image. Just kind of this feels like this side is a little bit lighter, or this side's a little bit lighter due to the. And I'm gonna lighten that, just barely lighten her stuff up over her skin up over here, which is what I'm upset for. Kind of a splotchy mess, but blended, I guess is the word. Okay, so that's a little splotchy, but see how it looks. Yeah, it's kind of got a skeleton feel to it. I'm not a big fan of that. Ugh. I'm getting tired. Let's see. Let me go for an opacity change. Let's see, have opacity changes very much. So yeah, I don't really like. 25%. The 25% isn't bad. Probably do more around here, but the idea is to bring or the attention to her face. Go. Okay, let's flatten this image. Do another dodge and burn, and I want to bring out this part. I want to go for a little or the I don't really like that. And I am not. Let's see. Start over. The perfectionist tendencies for sure. Details so fucking cool. Don't need to go too overboard on her or this detail because it's not. If you are not familiar with Lee Jeffries, the, his images are like all dodge and burn, which was the first time I found out about dodge and burn. I think I'm gonna bring out her eyes. His images are all dodge and burn. Or so he'll do street photography and then do dodge and burn on the street photography, and it kicked off an entire like new art style. Feels like okay, let's see what that. Yeah, so that brings out some good stuff. Excuse me. I think she's done. Everything looks pretty amazing. I think let me flatten these layers. I did realize that flatten image. Flattening the image made it so I could save to Lightroom. Lightroom did not like the layers when I tried to save it at one point. It was really interesting to see how bad it did. It's also very weird to see like um, OBS or the mouse on OBS over here, as well as when I'm over here, I can see the mouse over on Photoshop. Let's save this, and I think that will be enough of editing today. Actually, save Lightroom. Take a look at two different images. Let's see. Showing up streaming. Nope. Okay, so this is the edit. Let's see. Break the edges of my keyboard. Okay, so you can see like how the highlights pop her pretty well. Change this to 5. See which one's edit. Let's drop. See what D Hayes does for this one. That's nice. Clarity. Clarity. I like this. I'm gonna drop black down a bit, get some highlights. Highlights are good. Exposure. Okay. And then I think I already cropped, right? No. I'm on the original. So let's do a 5 by 7. Grab that edge of the wingtip. Close that. And that is a wrap. I will. Yeah. Gotta get my. I designed a new stream thing. And need to get my uh, emotes and subscriber badges going. But it's been fun. Uh, I don't really have an ending thing, so we'll just let the image here sit. I am in my room. Yeah, so that was fun editing. Let's see what the difference between this one is. See, brightened her up, also darkened it a little bit, brought like good detail on her, and yeah. So I'm gonna let this end. Yeah, gonna cut the stream for now. I don't think there's. See if there's anybody to raid. Huge plan. I think it's only me watching me. But thank you. If anybody catches this VOD, there's no music on it. I'm running Spotify so I don't get in trouble. On a different track. That was cool. Oh, cool. That's not great. But yeah, I hope to do more editing. I will get some. I'm gonna wait. Let's do channel. So the ads aren't there, and you're not looking at the how the sausage is made or whatever it is in the background. So I, yeah, waiting for the ads to roll. If anybody's watching who doesn't have ads, or if this, I don't know if the VOD plays ads. That's it. Um, or if you have Twitch Nitro, I bought Twitch Nitro. I think it is Turbo, whatever the fuck. Ads, and it's nice not seeing ads. I do feel torn on it because that means that I'm paying Twitch and not streamers that I want to watch. But I hate ads to a level that cannot describe. Like, yeah, one follower. But yeah, we're back from the ad break. I can switch over here. But thank you, anybody, everybody, for joining in my editing adventure. About how to do Dodge. Uh, just a quick recap for thoughts, more for my edification, or to hear the sound of my voice was uh, Dodge and burn, lightning, darkening an image. It's always been a challenge because it's a matter of like, well, I can go overkill. But with the changing of the brush shapes, I don't know much. I got to learn more about the hardness. But changing the brush shapes and fitting in the lines, focusing on that, and just looking at the natural lighting of the skin um, lets me kind of help bring out some of the stuff. There's still splotchy areas, but that's something that I'll see. I don't know if everybody will or anybody else will do that, but it's been fun to go in and look at the detail and bring out certain details of these images. So, and then being able to like drop them into the black and white and see where it really comes out will be a fun exploration. But thank you so much, everybody, for you. It probably would be fitting to say thank you for watching my stream, catching the VOD. Apologies on the no sound on the VOD, but if you have any feedback or feel free to drop it in chat. Follow subscribers would be awesome too. Um, but I need to stream a little bit more to be the subscriber aspect. I do have, um, I've got I like a type of art that I can't stream on Twitch. It's not porn, but it is artistic nude. So I got a YouTube channel set up that I can stream there. And I'll switch over to it. That's a different catalog. So I might give that a shot. It'll be in Discord, um, or I'll figure out how to link that to Discord. But till then, thank you for joining me on my edits of the Phoenix Fan Fusion and these amazing cosplayers. And again, yeah, if you like this, jump on in. Everybody's welcome. And I hope to do more of the art stuff. And yeah, just photography makes me happy. Capturing people makes me happy. My goal is to both create and as well as make the or have the person that I'm photographing feel seen in a healthy and loving way. I'm passionate to be able to see recognize the effort, especially in this cosplay. Just make it so I can capture that in a way that I think they want to be captured, as well as being able to see what is coming from the eye of Paul. So more on that later. Yeah, it's when, as Griffin said, I need to watch my posture. But yeah, thank you so much, and have a great night. And remember those who didn't go home. If you're one of the or to remember, or as it is Memorial Day. Yeah, thank you, and I will be here later or eventually. And until then.